All right, so the Venom 3 trailer came out this morning, and I have some thoughts, although not many, to be honest. Here's what it is. So, I enjoyed the first Venom movie. The second one I had some problems with. They weren't the worst things ever made, and certainly not the worst thing that Sony has come out. But am I the only one who's just done with this Sony, like, Spider-Verse? Like, the Sony, not the animated ones, not the actual Spider-Verse movies. I mean, like, the live action, like Morbius and Madam Web. I'm just not interested. And even though Venom was definitely, I would say, the flag bearer, right? The one that we could all count on because Tom Hardy has charisma. The directing is usually fine, and the symbiote's usually funny. And in this trailer today, I thought the symbiote was pretty damn funny. Like, that was the one thing that carried the trailer. But this movie seems like it's going everywhere. Like, I'm not really sure what to expect from it. It feels, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm feeling I'm sensing, there we go. I'm sensing that there's not that much hype for this film. I feel like with the lack of performance of so many comic book movies recently, the fact that people don't have faith in Sony because of Madam Web, even if Venom 3 is good, I don't know if this movie's going to perform the way they want it to. I feel like there's just not that much interest in this now. And I don't know if the MCU has actually hurt all comic book films. I still think that Spider-Man will do well. I think movies that have main Avengers will usually do well. I'm just not sure about this one, man. There was nothing in this trailer that made me like jump out and say, "Oh, I'm going to go see this movie." Instead, and again, this could be just me. So please leave a comment down below and let me know if you agree or if you're the only one. But when I saw this trailer, I didn't get that like, wow, I have to see this movie like I did with Deadpool 3. Instead, it was, oh, another movie I have to go see because I have to do a review on it. And I don't have to, but comic book movies usually get reviews from me here on World of Geekdom because that's what y'all want. And it just feels like this one. And I'm very honest with my reviews, man. This is not one of those woke versus anti-woke channels. I tell the truth whether a movie's good or bad by actually judging it, at least in my opinion. You don't have to agree with anything I say, but just know that I'm not creating some agenda here. It's just with this movie, there was nothing in this trailer that made me like really desire to go see it. It almost feels like more of a nuisance if anything, as weird as that may sound. So it looks like there's going to be like an invasion of symbiotes that have come to Earth to find the symbiote that created Venom. And I guess Eddie Brock, unlike it just being Carnage, this time he's going to go up against multiple members of his race from his planet. And damn, okay. We did not see much of them in the trailer. There was a couple shots of them that looked pretty good. My favorite thing from the trailer was the symbiote horse. That was cool. That was cool. That was neat. I like that. The "we got Venom" part was kind of funny, but it kind of brought me back to, they fly now? They fly now? You know, like, is it going to work for the movie? I'm also a bit confused about, okay, when the symbiote was in the MCU universe in the post-credit scene of Venom 2, no, I'm sorry, the post-credit scene of No Way Home, and that was supposed to lead into Venom 2, I'm a bit confused as to why the symbiote is in the main world. So, is this movie going to tie into the MCU like Venom 2 did in a stronger way? Is this going to lead to the next Spider-Man film? I think that some people are going to go see this with that impression. And there's no guarantees on that because Venom: The Last Dance is supposed to be the last one. So it could end with like a mid-credit scene of something going on in the MCU, but won't that in a weird way maybe trick people into thinking there's more coming from Venom? See, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird sort of situation they put themselves in because some people know it's not the MCU, others don't. They can't tell the difference. There's people who think that Morbius and Madam Web were all MCU movies in other universes, which actually that would be true. It isn't a different universe, so that part isn't a hard concept to grasp. But if the symbiote was left behind in that universe, Did the same thing happen in Eddie Brock Venom's universe that we see in these movies? I don't know. The guy who plays Mordo in Doctor Strange, he's in this movie, and I certainly hope they do more with him than they did in that movie, in the last one, because I thought he was wasted. My opinion. I didn't think he was that interesting. Also, it does sort of feel more like the first one, so I am looking forward to that aspect of it. I'm kind of getting vibes. I mentioned Rise of Skywalker earlier, and I'm not saying this will be as bad. It probably won't be. I don't think it will be. I hope it's not. Jesus. But it kind of reminds me of how the Rise of Skywalker was a lot like The Force Awakens, but not like The Last Jedi. It just, obviously J.J. Abrams directed 7 and 9, but I mean, like, besides that, it almost sort of ignores the second movie. And a lot of this trailer made me wonder if the events of Carnage are just not going to be a big factor in the future. I'm assuming they would be as far as symbiotes go, but like, because we're seeing characters that are back from the first movie, I'm over here thinking, okay, well, it feels like more of a sequel to the first film as opposed to a sequel to the second film. But that's okay, because trilogies can tie everything back together nicely if done right. There was a spoiler that had come out on Reddit, I think it was, maybe a year or two ago, that I talked about here on the channel that does not appear to be the case here. Because the spoiler went into this story about like a young 10-year-old Peter Parker, and symbiote's trying to kill him before he becomes Spider-Man or something like that. None of that appears to be in this trailer. Like, none of it. Now, I'm not saying that all of that was BS, but once again, it goes back to, and I said this in that video as well, a lot of the leakers, I mean, not everybody is accurate, dude. And even if they're accurate, it's very hard to be 100% accurate. Very rarely. I mean, when I posted on this channel the story of Godzilla vs. Kong before the movie came out, way before, Shazam 2 and The Matrix Resurrections, I got those literally almost 100%, like 95%. But that's very rare. You usually only hear small things here and there. That's one of those super rare occasions where plot threads were given to me by a source, and I trusted him and he was right on the money. Same thing with The Flash. The only thing that changed in The Flash is the order of some things and some explanations, but generally it was the same movie. So it's kind of wild that, the Reddit thing had to have been somebody just making stuff up, That's how it is sometimes on here. Anyways, it's the last Venom. I hope that it does well. I'm not sensing people really into this right now, but I have seen some people speak positive about the trailer. I think the next trailer should probably focus on maybe a bit more story content and see where they go. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Venom 3, The Last Dance. So we'll see what happens. Take care.